Welcome to Encouragement Notes, the place where you find out who God created you to be. I created this podcast to share my journey in life and in my disability acceptance. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get started. Hey, I hope all is going well and you're having a beautiful, blessed day. Ladies, we are 7 days away. 1 week from today, we will all be together at Rollettes Exoirence. And I really have nothing to say that is new. I just wanted to reiterate that it is important you have your water with you at all times. I don't think we are doing gift bags this year, like swag bags like we've done in the past. So please go to whatever local store you could go to before you come to RE and pick up some kind of a hydration packet because you are going to need it. Water is not going to do it for you alone, but you need to keep that water bottle filled and you need to keep it with you at all times. Please stay safe. Reach out to somebody in the room if in fact you do not feel good. If you feel any kind of weirdness physically at any time, please let us know that, hey, I need a break. Or you don't even have to unless you feel like you need to. Just remember to pace yourselves, and that'll help you to have the best time that you could have. But I'm really super excited and super stoked to see all of you guys in a week. I can't wait, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Welcome to Encouragement Notes, the place where you find out who God created you to be. I created this podcast to share my journey in life and in my disability acceptance. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get started. Hey, I hope all is going well and you're having a beautiful, blessed day. Ladies, we are 7 days away. 1 week from today, we will all be together at Rollettes Exoirence. And I really have nothing to say that is new. I just wanted to reiterate that it is important you have your water with you at all times. I don't think we are doing gift bags this year, like swag bags like we've done in the past. So please go to whatever local store you could go to before you come to RE and pick up some kind of a hydration packet because you are going to need it. Water is not going to do it for you alone, but you need to keep that water bottle filled and you need to keep it with you at all times. Please stay safe. Reach out to somebody in the room if in fact you do not feel good. If you feel any kind of weirdness physically at any time, please let us know that, hey, I need a break. Or you don't even have to unless you feel like you need to. Just remember to pace yourselves, and that'll help you to have the best time that you could have. But I'm really super excited and super stoked to see all of you guys in a week. I can't wait, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey, I hope all is going well and you're having a beautiful, blessed day. It is 8:37 in the morning, and it's been a long time since I did an episode that is like this, like right when I woke up. But I'm doing this episode because I wanted to make a correction on the late night episode that I did before I went to bed. yesterday was Wednesday, and I said that you had 24 hours because it was going to be Friday to sign up for my friend Amy Langino's mentorship program. Well, after Wednesday comes Thursday. So now you have 24 hours because it is now Thursday, and I think the sign up to get in on the founding level of her program stops at 9 p.m. Eastern time. 9 p.m. Pacific time, 12 a.m. Eastern time. So get on it if you want to get on it. And also, she dropped another golden nugget of advice that I am going to take, and I'm going to start working on doing a reel or a post of your early days whenever you choose to, because a lot of people don't realize how far they've come in their work, and they just keep going and going and going without looking back and saying, hey, I did that, and showing their audiences, hey, look where I've been. So that is something I'm going to get on. But again, I just wanted to clarify that it is Thursday today, this morning, and Amy's mentorship sign up for the founding level closes on Friday at midnight Eastern time. So again, that is 9 o'clock Pacific time. But I would highly recommend that you guys get on it because Amy is fantastic. I've watched literally all of her videos because I not only started following her in 2018, but lately I've been down an old video rabbit hole with her because a lot of the videos that I hadn't seen in her early days, I'm starting to watch again. And some of the videos that I started watching in 2018, I'm watching over again as well. So, you guys, I will talk to you later. Love you. Bye. Hope all is going well and you're having an awesome day. Today is the day that I want to share my experience at Rollettes Exoirence, and I say this almost every year, but this year was truly transformative for me in my own life, and I think this year was one of the best years that I personally have ever had. Okay, so to start off, and I am looking at my bullet point notes, and shout out to one of my mentors, Renee Marino, for saying always have bullet point notes in front of you so you can be authentic with your speaking, and I'll talk about that word in a minute, or a couple minutes. But so you could be authentic with your speaking, but not get lost or start to ramble in what you're saying. Okay, so to start off, I went into RE kind of reluctantly because I didn't know. There was a point where I didn't know that if I wanted to go or not. And there was a point where I felt very weird about going to this particular RE. And so I went in with some preconceived notions about what it was going to be like, and would I get stuck doing something I didn't want to do. And what I have to say to that is you do have the freedom to choose what you want to go to and what you don't want to go to. So do not, in any circumstance, do not make yourself feel like you have to go to something, even if your best friend is going, you don't have to go. If you don't want to go to it, don't go. Save your energy for what you really want to go to and what will really bring out your true joy in you. Because, like me, if I were to go to something I didn't want to go to, I didn't want to be all sour and bring down the party for those who were around me. So I did not go to everything. And I actually made the mistake, now I see that it was a mistake, of giving up my room and going back and forth. I only live 40 minutes away from where RE was. So I left every single day. But again, I say that I will say that I should not have done that because it took so much time and energy for my mom and I to see what the schedule was, get a ride, an access service ride, which access service was great. And it's a great way to travel, I think. If you know how to work the system, it is a great way to travel. But it takes long because it's not a direct ride service. It's a shared ride service. So it takes very, very long to get to where you're going. So get a room and just opt out of what you don't want to go to. Because yes, I did feel like I missed out on stuff because of my personal scheduling. Because, for example, it took me about an hour to get there, about an hour and a half to get there. The day that Chelsea had her social media panel, which was, I believe it was Friday. And I really wanted to go to her social media panel. And it was at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I did my best. We did our best and left at 7:30. And lo and behold, we had 2 share rides that day. So I did not get to RE until the middle of the panel, which kind of bumped me out, but I was resigned to the fact that if I did not get to something I really wanted to get to, because I knew in myself, I'm like, okay, you have to be an adult about this. I was telling myself, you have to be an adult about this and not be sour about things you miss out on because of your scheduling. So I missed half of Chelsea's panel and I didn't want to walk in the middle. So what had happened was I walked into, instead of walking into Chelsea's, I walked into the beginning of the kids' dance class, which included my classmates because our instructor, Marley, was teaching the kids' dance class, and my classmates and I joined that class. So that ended up working out great. And so, but, okay, so going back, tying up the preconceived notions part. Don't make a big decision like canceling your room just because you don't want to go to something. Or just because you think, in my case, that you will feel the same way that you felt last year. And so I'm not going to go into that part because that part is very personal. But I have literally danced my way through the feelings of last year. And I think that I am now on the other side of it and I am better for it. And I know that people are human, so things are going to come up. But as of now, I think that I'm on the other side of it. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is challenging myself physically and mentally. Last year, my mom did most of the pushing. I mean literal pushing. Like, she pushed me everywhere. And when she didn't push me, that is when I felt the most not confident. But if you know my story of this year, specifically, you know that I have been taking, excuse me, I need to go for my water for a minute. You know that this year I have been taking dance classes, and dance has been, like I always say, dance is better than therapy. The traditional physical therapy, because you get all your emotions out. 2, you get a good workout. 3, you have to actually get yourself to class. So you have to get yourself to class by pushing. I mean, I specifically have to get myself to class by pushing myself, because my mom is not with me when I go to dance class. I take access on my own. I get there on my own, and I leave from class on my own. So in this past year, I have taught myself to push myself more efficiently, and I'm not afraid of my chair anymore. And the story of the physical journey with my chair is one that in which I was very afraid of my chair. And I'm not talking like psychologically, like, oh, how do I look? Do I look dumb? I don't look pretty. I don't look, strong or whatever. I mean, physically, I was afraid of my chair. Like, I would white knuckle my wheels for dear life. I would hold onto it with such a death grip that my hands would have blisters. And so, hi Johnny, I see you. It's been so long, and I want you to know that I love you and I'm so proud of you. But I would white knuckle my wheels so hard that my hands would have blisters. And yes, in some cases, blisters are considered battle scars, but in this case, it was just dumb. In my particular case, it was just dumb because I was so scared. But I've learned how to push myself and let go and continue that motion until I get to where I'm going, which is very, very freeing for me. And so I carried that physical attitude into RE, and I said, you know what, Mom, I'm going to push myself as much as I can. And I did all of my own pushing on hotel carpet. If you are a wheelchair user, you know the hell that is. It is hard. So you have to give yourself ample time to get places. When you're staying at a hotel and you're at a conference and you're getting from place to place at this conference or whatever the event is, because it is so hard. But thank you, Rollettes. You built us a pathway that you build every year. And it was great for a long while we had such ease getting from place to place. There was places that the pathway was not. So in those spots it was hard. But overall, I feel extremely proud of myself that I did all my own pushing. My arms are tired and I am paying for it at this moment right now. My shoulders are sore. But learn how to push and let go, because it will save your shoulders. And if you're constantly white knuckling your chair, your shoulders will pay for it in the long run. So if you are young, learn how to push yourself more efficiently as soon as possible. And that will save your shoulders greatly. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is challenging myself physically in dance class. I took almost every single dance class that was offered at RE, including the one that was considered the hardest dance class to take, which was Hamilton Evans. Last year, I remember walking out of his class not because it was hard, but because of that mental ick that I was going through. Something had happened that I will not share here on the podcast, but something had happened that gave me such an ick that I didn't want to do his class, and I walked out. This year, I said, no matter how hard it is, I'm challenging myself to this class. And so I not only challenged myself to this class, but I parked it front row. And that was one of the most freeing things that I could have done for myself this weekend. Is this particular RE weekend is park myself in the front row of classes. Because I'm like, you know what? If I mess up, I went into this attitude of if I mess up, then that's fine. There's always the next class, or there's always tomorrow, or there's always next year for me to grow more and get things right. But when you mess up in a dance class, it's just dance class. You're not being judged in dance class. Or you should not be judged in dance class. And if you are, then there is a problem that needs to be addressed. But you should not be judged in dance class. We all move differently. We all have different paces of moving. And thank you so much to the Rollettes for providing different ways of doing each routine. At any given time, in any given dance class, there were 4 of the women who were on stage, and they were each doing the dance routines differently. One had the responsibility of doing it full out. One had the responsibility of doing it like halfway, where you are turning your chair a little bit and moving your arms for the majority of the time. And then one had the responsibility of sitting completely stationary for those who didn't want to do any turns, but wanted to do their arm movements full out. And so you could pick and choose any given combination of those combinations and do what your body could do. And so that was very, very freeing, and it was just amazing to feel like it was amazing to feel and hear from people that I was a good dancer, because I'm getting good, but I don't consider myself a good dancer just yet. And I think that's a mental thing that I need to work on. So that's that about dance class for now. The next thing I want to talk about is Ali Stroker's confidence seminar. She said something that was so profound that I need to share it with you guys on the podcast. She said, if they can't accommodate you, they don't deserve you. And so, to put that in perspective, she was talking about taking a job on Broadway and having to go into the auditions not only as the Ali Stroker, the actress, but Ali Stroker, the advocate. And not a lot of people understand that when we enter a room, we have to go in with 3 or 4 hats, not just 1 or 2. We have to go in with 3 or 4 hats, meaning that we have to be the advocate, we have to be the performer, or the employee, whatever we are, or the board member. We have to be our own cheerleader, because not everybody is going to understand our journeys and really say, oh, you did such a good job, and have that be genuine from a place that we could take it as a compliment. Because we all know, we as disabled people all know that a lot of the times when we are called inspiring, it is simply because we have done something that is very super mundane, and that should not be the case, but it's because people don't often have that frame of reference to what we can do. So we need to go into situations being comfortable in who we are, and the way we do that is surround ourselves with community, like RE is, or like any other association would be, like Easter Seals or Lanterman. For me, it's Lanterman. And so we need to surround ourselves with community. Boundless Babes is a big one. If I hadn't had the Boundless Babes Society, I would not be the woman I am today. And so Ali went on to say that you want to go in to a meeting, or just meeting people with a certain posture, not having the air of, are they gonna accept me, but having looking like, yeah, I'm a person who can make you comfortable. I'm a person that you want to be friends with. And you do that by having a certain posture. But she explained that she meant by posture, she didn't mean sitting up straight, which is exactly what I did when she said posture, because that is how I understood it. She meant in the way you carry yourself, like in the way you enter a room. And are you there because you have to know what your intention is when you enter a room. And that is a big one that I'm trying to work on. Or that, not trying to work on, but that I am currently working on. And so, she talked a lot about how to have a certain posture. And one thing she talked about is something that I always hear from non-disabled creators, non-disabled speakers, that I tended to kind of brush off. And I tended to kind of brush it off and be like, okay, that's okay for you, but what do I do? And she said, anytime you're getting ready to speak and your words are important, you need to move your body before you get ready to speak. Because your energy in your body, it needs to move. Because there's a lot of times where we will get butterflies in our stomach. And those butterflies, unlike non-disabled people when they get butterflies, our butterflies can't move as quick as their butterflies can, because their butterflies could take them for a walk and they could walk it, like literally walk it off. So what Allie was saying is that we need to do our version of jumping jacks or punching, which I did 10 punches before I started this podcast, because it drops your voice. And I don't know if you could hear in my voice, but I can't even hear it yet, but it drops your voice into a place that needs to be for you to sound the way you want to sound. And it just gets all your energy out, and you are no longer nervous because you've actively done something to combat your nerves. And so that was a really beneficial thing for me. And I will say that she also touched on, in her particular seminar, she also touched on the fact that not everybody is going to offer you something. So what we need to do as disabled people is go out and create it ourselves. That is why, or that is going to be from here on out, one of the purposes of this podcast. I do consider myself a speaker now. I don't want to be a speaker later. I consider myself a speaker now. Have I made it to the point where I want to make it? Nope. Because people aren't blowing up my phone and saying I want you here and there and everywhere. But I know that I am reaching people because of what I am doing through this podcast. And so we need to create our own opportunities, and then people will see that we are challenging their perception of what a disabled person is, what a disabled woman is. And so I would challenge you guys to do something that will challenge perspectives. Because your perspectives, as well as others in the world right now, we know that they need to be challenged. And so another thing that I want to talk about is learning from trailblazers. And this was Allie's panel. She did teach a class that was just a class with her, but her panel was her panel that she led, that she moderated, was called Trailblazers. And so she led this panel of dynamic women who are all making waves within our community and within the world. And most of them said the same thing. You need to create your own opportunities. And you need to be willing to put yourself out there and get yourself in the door. Because people aren't going to knock down your door. You need to knock down other people's doors. And so, that was an amazing time. Jennifer Kumiyama was on it. Angela Rockwood was on it. And some other dynamic women whose names I did not get. But again, I was blessed to be, I think, first or second row for that. I went into this thing, like this whole weekend, I went into this thing and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be right there. I'm going to be front and center, and I'm not going to be ashamed of how I look. I am going to carry myself the way I want to carry myself and have people see me the way I want them to see me. And so I was front row for that, and I didn't get any pictures with the ladies. I wish I did, but I didn't. And so my perspectives have definitely been challenged, and I am definitely going to carry myself in the way that I was taught this weekend. And it was so refreshing also to know that that having a disability and being challenged by my own perceptions is not something that is brand new. Other people go through it as well. Because my mom and I sat in on a panel that Easter Seals was doing, and it was all about navigating independence, and it was basically about perspective shifts of both women with disabilities and women with disabilities and mothers who basically were the worrywarts in the room. So, and this is something that my mom and I have definitely bumped heads on from time to time, because as I am growing, my mom is getting more worried and my dad is getting more worried about entertaining the what ifs. But it was awesome to know that my mom had people to lean on to tell her story to, because we all have different we all have different stories within the same existence. So my mom was able to share her stories with some of the women, and I was able to share mine. And the women that were the disabled women on this panel were probably in their 30s. And it's taken me that long. I don't know how old I was. How old was I? 5 years ago. I'm 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38. Okay, so I was probably 39 or so, 38, when I started my disability journey of acceptance. And I know I was 39 when I started with the Rollettes and stuff. So I have been living in my self-acceptance. When I was 39, that's when it started. But it was refreshing to know that I had, that I was not the only one that started their self-acceptance journey at a late age, being somebody who was born with a disability. Because both of the women that were on the panel started out at a late age. And so it was very, very comforting to know that I'm not alone in that. And it was so awesome to also connect with Easter Seals, because I'm part of the Lanterman Regional Center board, and we are huge partners with Easter Seals. So it was nice to get to meet some of the people from Easter Seals and connect with them one-on-one after the panel. And I forgot to tell you guys that because I took Allie's Joker seminar, the one where she taught us about confidence and how to move through a room and carry ourselves with confidence, that I missed Richard Elsie's class. And originally, Richard Elsie's class was what I was going to RE for. So Richard, I am sorry. But as soon as somebody posts the routine, I will definitely get to work on that routine. From what I could see, it was gorgeous. And from what I saw, my dance teacher, my dance instructor, Marley Page, did a fantastic job helping you teach the routine, or helping you demonstrate what needed to be demonstrated. And I'm so sorry I missed you. But I think that I needed the kick in the pants that Ellie gave us about confidence and stuff. So I am sorry that I missed it, but I wouldn't have changed my schedule for the world. I wouldn't have walked out on that for the world. So, that's that, you guys, with that class. But lastly, and more importantly, I want to talk about Chris Scott's class. And if you guys don't know who Chris Scott is, he is the amazing choreographer from Wicked the movie. He also did In the Heights, and he's done many other projects. He's done So You Think You Could Dance. He was the choreographer he worked for So You Think You Could Dance when Kaylee Bays was on it. And so we got to learn the dancing through life, the library part of the routine. And then we went into the Oz Dust ballroom part. Not the part that I thought we were going to go into, which was the Elphaba Glinda part, but we went into the section where they get to the Oz Dust ballroom and they just start cutting it up. And that was amazing. And that, I was so proud of myself. I have to say that I was so proud of myself for, hold on. I don't know about you guys, but when I drink coffee, I love coffee to death. But when I drink coffee, my throat gets so dry, and I'm so bad at drinking water. So bad. Because water, I tell my mom all the time, water hates me. Because I have to go to the bathroom so much when I drink a bottle of water. So, anyway, that might be TMI, but, anyways, so, Chris Scott's class. We got the opportunity to go into Chris Scott's, to have a class that was taught by Chris Scott. And again, all I could say is it was life-changing, amazing, and perspective shifting. Because if you really listen to Dancing Through Life, like really super listen to it, you will see that what Fiyero is thinking is that, okay, so he's this cute brainless dude who doesn't use his brains, and in Act 1 primarily uses his looks and his charm to get what he wants. But there is a section of the song where it says, nothing matters and knowing nothing matters. It's just life, so keep dancing through. So in that section particularly of the song, there are turns in, like physical turns in the movement. And so what I came away with, and I don't know if Chris outright said this or not, but what I came away with is, if I don't turn the right way at the right time, it doesn't matter. All I'm doing is dancing through my life experience right then and there. So that was a real confidence booster and perspective change. And I couldn't be proud. Like, to sum it up, you guys, I couldn't be prouder of the woman I was this weekend. And I look forward to being her a lot more in life, and just not giving any energy to, which I kind of have to make peace with that word, but not giving any energy to those who might be like, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z in order to be normal, or I wouldn't do that, so you shouldn't do that, or whatever the case may be. Like, let people's opinions be people's opinions, but know that I'm carrying myself in the best way that I can. And it's an honor to know, and I found it out this weekend. It's an honor to know that as an older woman, people are watching me. And they are learning from me. So if they see I want them to see somebody who has their stuff together as much as possible. And I don't want that to mean that I can't be human and have a down day, because let me tell you, I have had such a rough couple days physically, because I've been so tired because of what RE, physically put my body through, even though I was able to get better sleep because of sleeping at home. I was able to get better sleep. But I'm still very, very tired and very, very sore. And I went to therapy yesterday and it just hurt really bad. But I made myself go because I didn't want to get lazy. And so I want to carry myself as with enough grace to say, okay, life could be hard. I could show that it's hard, but I also need to be positive about what I'm doing, because people are watching me. Little ones are watching me. I'm thinking of a specific little one who made me cry. My dear, dear friend and little sister, Marlene, she did an amazing job at the Boundless Talent Showcase. She and our classmate, Val, did an amazing job in their routine. And so did my friend Sarah, and so did my friend Brianna. You guys killed it. You guys totally killed it. So I'm proud of all of you. And Marlene's mom, Monica specifically, she said, she asked Marlene to show me what she's learned, and she learned how to duck waddle. And Marlene's mom was like, guess who she gives that credit to? And I'm like, who? She goes, you. And I'm like, what? And so, so often in life, we go through life not realizing that people are watching us. But we need to know that people are watching us and be the best example to them that we can be. Like I said, no pressure. Every day is not going to be perfect. But if you know somebody is watching you, what do you want them to see? And I'm not saying put on a show. I'm saying handle it as your best self. And then if you need to fall apart, have those people that you can fall apart with. Because that will make everything better. So you guys, I have to go because I think my phone is going to die. It is sitting on the charger, but I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyways, okay, so it's not acting up anymore. But that is basically what I wanted to say. And if you have any more questions about Rollettes or what their mission is, it is changing a little bit, but not too much. If you have any questions about Rollettes and what their mission is, or Boundless Babe Society, I'm a Boundless Babe graduate. So you guys could reach out to me and ask me any questions that you want. And please don't hesitate. And to everybody who puts on RE, Joe, Bria, Chelsea, and the whole entire team, Andrew, Victor, and all of the photographers. You guys are amazing. Made us all feel like models this weekend. And speaking of models, thank you, Bree Scalisi, for teaching the modeling class. And I gotta say really quickly that I got up on stage during the modeling class. And I personally think I looked a little dorky, but my friend and sister, who I call my Nessa Rose, my Marissa, I was gonna say Marissa Bodie, but Marissa Chiachetti, she took video of me up on stage because she attended RE virtually this year because she has a lot going on. And so she took a video of me up on stage and I posted it. And I think, like I said, I think I look a little bit dorky, but I don't know. She thought I looked great. So anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will 100% get to your questions when I can. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And we are on the way to 500. I think this is 422, this episode, as I'm recording it right now. I will clarify that when I upload it to my app and let you guys know that for sure. But keep in mind what you want me to do for 500, because we are on the way and I don't foresee me going anywhere for a long while. I'm in this for the long haul. So I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Thank you so much for joining. And like I said, if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.